Today I want to get into RM's recent letter and how everyone got emotional over the letter. We have also people who believe that HYBE is not doing the BTS reunion on time anymore, or that is at risk. And of course this ties into the enlistment. We also have Suga breaking down some new information for us on a live. So hey Dumplings, it's David Desai, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your Dumplings, hey Swing Mug Merch, and let's go. Suga recently had a live stream and broke down some very important information for us. Suga was on the last leg of his tour in Thailand. He then went into his hotel room and bought a ton of food, and then he was doing a bit of a mukbang. And just like old BTS tradition, he also decided that he will be doing a live stream. BTS members usually all do a live stream on important occasions, so right after the Grammys or right after a big show. This is just to thank armies that show up and show their appreciation to the fandom support. So Suga decided to do this as well. Suga was going over the questions on the live stream and hit a very interesting comment. The comment, and possibly even several comments, were asking Suga to perform in China. This is already extremely interesting because I am assuming the people writing this were writing it in Korean, and thus they were probably people living in China that went to learn Korean. I don't know. And then the second thing is that China's policy on who can get into the country, and I mean both physically and digitally, are pretty strict. So they have a lot of websites blocked. Things like the American TikTok, or in some parts of China, YouTube is blocked, as well as Google and many other sites. The country deems a lot of these social media sites to be stealing China's data, and thus they block it for more national security reasons. Other reasons they block it is to increase the economy over there. By having social media sites over there that are all tied to the government, money stays within the country instead of going back to the US. However, I say this to explain that it's a lot of effort for someone in China to be watching content from outside of China. I don't know if Weverse is blocked in China, but a lot of Chinese internet users have to use a VPN to do anything online and watch BTS. So the people who are requesting Suga and BTS to perform in China, they are mega fans. Suga then had to explain on the live show how he and BTS members are unable to perform in China. He goes on to say it's difficult for someone who is not Chinese to perform in China. Even in groups where there are some Chinese members, only the members who are Chinese can perform there, but the entire group cannot. So for example, GOT7, you'll mostly just have Jackson Wang perform, and the other members, it'll not really be possible. I can't really explain why, other than perhaps the government wanting to keep national pride to be a thing and to prevent other countries' propaganda from getting into China, similar to how in the US it was such a pull to get K-pop on the radio because the government classified it as Korean propaganda. But like everything, these things will eventually soften with time and as other people learn more acceptance for other cultures. My concern when I had initially heard that BTS can't perform in China actually went back to if it had anything to do with a possible BTS ban in China. There was an incident in which RM talked about the Korean War, which seemed to upset Chinese netizens, which made no sense, and then other instances before that in which BTS merch was actually banned because it said B water on it. This is from their album B, and they were selling water bottles, so then it was labeled as B water. If you're unaware why this is controversial, there's been a history of tension and ongoing tension with Hong Kong and China. I won't get into it fully, but the protesters of Hong Kong people use the term be water. It's supposed to represent being resilient. Hong Kong for the longest time wants to be an independent nation. People in China believe Hong Kong is part of China. People in China have extremely high national pride. So they hate anyone that goes against that. So similar to the Taiwan situation. So obviously there was a big misunderstanding with the merch in this case. I would imagine situations like this would make K-pop idols performing in China a controversial issue. This entire segment, by the way, has just been my conspiracy and alleged theory. Either way, if you do want to see BTS members perform or watch content more freely, you have the option of moving elsewhere. There's been a lot of BTS content lately, and there's been a lot of things that have been very interesting for everyone in any country. RM recently just posted a photo of a long handwritten letter to ARMY. It was so beautifully written and so neatly written. It's very long, and I'll give the gist of what is happening. RM talks about the passing of the 10 years and how he feels like he has grown a lot, but still feels very immature. He ends up thanking ARMY's for their support and how they have helped BTS members grow. He talks about the fear he had written when he was younger and how it still all applies now. RM then ends the letter to say thank you to ARMY and that he will continue to have many of the emotions he has had in the past involving feelings of distress and confusion. He definitely also acknowledged the unique future, and then he ends the letter telling ARMYs thank you and how much he loves us. People took this letter as a goodbye. It was essentially going to be his letter to let everyone know how much they mean to him and that he is just saying everything he needs to say before going away. It's partly a goodbye in my opinion, but definitely not really. This letter was made to thank ARMY for a good 10 years alongside them. I don't think people give enough credit to a 10-year long career. Doing anything for 10 years is an incredible feat, and it shows determination, it shows ambition, it shows drive, and it's definitely success, especially for their case. It's a way to let ARMYs know that whatever happens, BTS will be there for ARMY, just as ARMY has been there for their struggles. This is not to imply a goodbye, but to say thank you, and in a situation in which BTS members do have an uncertain future, that ARMYs know that BTS members love them, and that part remains certain. BTS has time and time again proven that they love ARMYs and even gave us a song to listen to while they were away. They just dropped Take Two, if you're unaware, and ARMYs loved it. If you also want to join fellow Dumplings to react and fangirl over this song, we do react to it over on Patreon. It's currently there to watch. We do have a $1 tier with limited spots, so if you would like to join, I will link the Patreon at the top of the description. BTS members are supposed to intervene and reunite by 2025. This is supposed to be when all the members are done with their service, and we possibly can get another album from them. This was a date that HYBE had also put out, and just my alleged conspiracy. They likely put this out because after the hiatus announcement, there was a bit of a stock drop, and they needed to put out some answers as to when BTS would come back, or proof that BTS had not disbanded, which was the rumor at the time. This way they could save their stock a little bit, which a lot of companies do. They obviously did not lie about that. The members have every intention of doing that. However, a bit later, HYBE then talked about how 2025 is not a final definitive date. It was more of an estimate, and that specific date is contingent on things like the military not keeping them over and other things that may come up. So RM and Suga are supposed to enlist next. However, it was believed that RM might be working on something and want to make some more music before he goes. If you do look online, the majority of comments demanding BTS members serve are coming from people who are not in the fandom, just because they want the boys to enlist and be gone so their favorite group can take BTS's place. And so whatever, fine, that's just how K-pop culture works. However, there's a lot of ARMYs who want the boys to enlist fast, because if they don't, it would put the 2025 date at risk. Because no matter when they enlist, they still have a set time they have to serve, and that's usually a year and a half or so. So then people online were begging both Suga and RM to enlist now, and even the other members to enlist by the end of this year in order to make it by the 2025 date. But if the members are serving a year and a half, then they have until mid-2024 to enlist, and then they'll be back by the end of 2025. So I don't think they have to enlist right now. I think what people are thinking is that they want BTS members to go separately, but they can literally all just enlist by June 2024 and then be back by December 2025 at once. And so that is an option if the members who are done with their solo want to continue their solo. There's also a new law that was enacted where BTS members can still work while serving. This was a benefit specifically given to BTS. So if the members are choosing to enlist later, they can still request time off for special performances while they finish their service. This is of course not ideal. It would be best if the boys didn't have to do double shifts and also serving while doing activities that they need to do in the service, which I am sure is exhausting. So where would this energy to serve and perform come from? I don't know. So I just want to calm people down here to say that even if RM or Suga do not enlist now or soon, they will be okay and still make that reunion. Now, other people are not so scared about the members not enlisting, but more so scared about when they are enlisting, which I think the majority of us are on that boat. People have been joking that since HYBE has been dropping those good pieces of news lately and also spoiling us with a lot of good content, they're about to drop something not good. A hello, this is Big Hit Music statement. The statements usually are followed by either news of COVID or enlistment, so it's not great. People were saying that it's likely that we would get a sad statement in July, but please do not freak out over something we do not know yet. There could definitely be a lot more good news, like RM has yet to release a farewell song or music video, so we still have that to look forward to. I hope he does it, similar to Jin and J-Hope. So don't be too scared yet. we have time. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.